Okay, good morning. This is day 120 of making these videos. Describe a day or thought in the life of Schizophrenic Dominic. I make these videos to describe some amount of sanity amidst the world going crazy and warring upon me and telling everybody that I was crazy or insane or diseased. I experienced schizophrenia, but I believe it is a reality to be experienced and that I am not diseased or crazy. I have written a book on medium.com that I share for free. It needs to be edited. It's not necessarily the best, which I'll talk about here in a second, but I think it's ample in order for people to read it, and it's imperative that people read it at this point in time. And I have expressed in day 17 of these videos why I call myself schizophrenic rather than targeted individual. And in day 45, I express why I make these videos with a 3-minute intro. Okay, I was going to start off talking about feedback that I get from the public and the government. And I don't know if it's part of something called Operation Mockingbird or something like that, but media figures will harass me, including sports media figures. And they make commentary on sports people to make commentary about me, what I do, what I think, what I eat, what stuff like that. And so that's why it's so difficult to watch sports, but I still watch sports because I love sports, but they just don't like the fact that I don't like the gamification of life that our system has, and the total gamification of life in the social Darwinian world order, and they're constantly trying to make me compete and stuff like that, and yeah. Anyways, so I was gonna talk about feedback I got about my book, and it was done by the Simon character online, and it came into my feed, and he was saying this is the schizophrenic reality where you get kind of targeted things. It's directed conversation is what the term is in the targeted individual world or surveillance world. And this is directed conversation where they're ostensibly talking about something else, but they're really directing the conversation at you. And this gentleman was saying something like, people who don't continuously improve their writing or take critique in their writing are arrogant and lack humility, or like the continuous improvement of your writing till it's perfected and stuff. And then all these people were commenting and yes, 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 and they had all their thoughts on it or whatever. And one of the people that commented back was Kendrick Perkins, and he was saying, "Clap, clap, clap, yes, yes, yes," or something. And this is all supposedly about my book and my character. Supposedly they're saying I'm arrogant. And frankly, I don't think my book is that good. It's embarrassing to share my book, and it needs to be edited. I wouldn't mind other people uh, reading it and giving input, but at the same time, I'm a little worried about. First of all, I don't have the money to hire an editor at this point in time. And I'm a little worried about finding an honest broker, like an honest editor who is comfortable. It's finding an honest editor who is a good editor who is comfortable doing the work because of the content of the book. It could be kind of a scary book to edit. And, so I don't know who would be comfortable and secure enough in their situation standing in society in order to do it. And so for that reason, I think it'd be hard. And then also, I don't know who'd be honest because it's a very volatile subject. You know, I'm talking about whether or not wars are fake or real in there, and whether or not they're cultural productions. I'm talking about the fact that all humans will become refugees in the future on other planets, so we need to accept refugees now, and that it's absolutely horrible that we're treating immigrants like trash. That's one of the things I talk in there. So, and I talk about like how there's almost like a game being played between Democrats and Republicans, and that they're, you know, that Republicans just, it's, they just, I don't follow a script that is the general script of society in the book. And I say a lot of things in there about theories and stuff and UFOs, and so I don't know who would be secure enough to edit the book and if they would have an agenda to try to change it altogether. And so for that reason, and I also talk about Israel Palestine in there and my thoughts on that. And so I, as just like, as a Westerner or whatever. And so I don't know if it's wise to let somebody edit it and just give control over to that person and just go with it. I do think it would be nice for other people to read it and get impact input back. And there's probably particular editors where it would be fine. There's like not all editors are gonna want to change the book or whatever. But so because of this reasoning, and then I'm also just kind of done with the book. Like mentally, it's kind of draining. It was soothing while I wrote it, and it was a good exercise to collect my thoughts and get them in, put them in organized fashion. I can go over the book and read it and get the information. It's a good log of information. It's a good way to document information that's in the public domain about voice hearing and things like that. So, all that being said, I don't know if I want to spend more time on the book itself. So I just think it's imperative to. It's a moment in time, and I don't think I want to spend the rest of my life editing and perfecting this book. It's out there. I think that there's a little bit of brainwashing going on with like regards to not acknowledging what quality it does have. And I think that I can't judge people for whether or not they read my book or not, so it's hard to say, but like this these people were saying stuff like I was arrogant and lacking humility, so I started to be volatile back, and I was thinking like, there some of not wanting to read the book and entertain its thoughts or ideas is a moral cowardice. And that was my original reaction, but then I thought about it and I was like, no, people could be not secure in their position in society, and some of the stuff in there is kind of, I don't think it's volatile. To me it's like what needs to be said from my perspective as a person. And so as a person in this crazy, weird, insane world we're living in, and so I said, hey, this is my thoughts on it or whatever, and this is why they inflicted schizophrenia on me. So yeah. But anyways, I got that feedback and I just talked about it. I talked about it here for about 8 minutes right now, but that was what happened the other day with my feedback about the book. And so I submit the book for free, and yeah, if people want to read it, they can read it. If they don't, they don't have to. And uh, like I said, there could be a lot of reasons why people don't want to, and it could be based in a fear of all kinds of reasons for their position in society. And so that's all I can say about that. All right, so I was gonna say something. I got more feedback the other day. I call my uncle Ron every couple times a week, and we talk and we discuss things. It's a good conversation, and I'll enjoy it. And I didn't call him last Sunday, I think it was, because I fell asleep in the middle of the day and I slept all day. I had been up all night, and um, it was the other video where I told you I was up all night and I fell asleep and I did not get a chance to call him and talk to him. And then I got feedback. This is the schizophrenia feedback. The There was a World Wrestling Federation champion or something like that, former champion WWE named R Truth, and his name is Ronnie Killing, and he quit or he retired from WWE and said I resign or whatever. And this was supposed to be my uncle being upset that I didn't call him or whatever. And yeah, so that's just an example of like little schizophrenic feedback and people that are positioned all around in the media and as us, and like I'm supposed to be Donald Trump, he's supposed to be Ron DeSantis, and there's other people that are supposed to be politicians that you'll notice if you are a family or a friend, you'll notice that you look like people in movies. And I'm not making this commentary on people or whatever, but like somebody is like there's a Truman Show watching us all on a feed and putting us in shows and politicians and surveillance networks and stuff. And it's like I don't know. I guess on some level it's like defamation. I don't know how much people take to heart what they say about us on there, but yeah. So I was just gonna say that. All right, I'm gonna get into a book that I was reading about Life as No One Knows It by Sarah Walker, and it was all about free will and in physics, like uh, the main theories of physics that are kind of accepted theories by physicists around the world is that free will is not real. That if you go down to the molecular level and you go down to the atomized level or subatomic level or whatever, that it's all just kind of reactions and things, and it's all based on physics, and that we don't really have free will. But there are other scientists, and I guess there's a group of scientists in Santa Fe, New Mexico, that say that they have this T-shirt that they walk around, and they say more is different, and their whole thing is that sometimes you don't have free will, but sometimes you do. Like there's certain instances where you have free will in certain moments in time. And I thought that was kind of interesting when you think about with the like more is different and parallel universes and stuff like that. So I don't quite have a full grasp of what I'm reading in that book because I'm not a science like mind, but I'm trying to understand it. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. There was a group of scientists that walk around with T-shirts, and I don't know if you see those people with those T-shirts, they might be a scientist, but they could just be somebody that is on that team, like Team Free Will or something. And their whole thing is more is different is their T-shirt, and they're in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Okay, so I read that in my book. All right, in the simulated continue on with this idea of free will or no free will. In the simulated multiverse, it keeps talking about the Mandela Effect, and I was thinking like I don't know, like they were talking about all these instances, like the tank, the Tiananmen Square, and some people remember that the tank person got run over by the tank or whatever. And I think I remember receiving a dream in my dream, and it felt so real that I was watching that on TV, and that I remember that. So I don't know if the Mandela effect, if it is based on artificial reality or something to do with our dreaming sequences and where do we go in the dreams? Are we going to parallel worlds? What's going on with that? And then if and faulty memories, I think I kind of tend to think that the Mandela effect has something to do with as I'm reading this that it has something to do with faulty memories. And I've heard of the Mandela effect previous to this book, but I'm just learning more about it in this book and instances of examples of the Mandela Effect in society. And so, yeah, my thoughts on that are that it has to do with faulty memory and whatever goes on in our dreams and creating memories and perhaps parallel digital worlds or parallel worlds, intergalactic or maybe simulation or something. So yeah. In a not so misfit Odyssey, I'm gonna stop here and talk about this another time. It has to do with one man's. All right, so I'm gonna stop here. Okay, because it's been about 15 minutes, and I don't like to go too long. So I hope everybody has a good day today, and the weekend's coming up. I hope Friday comes up soon. I guess it's only Wednesday, but all right. Goodbye.